What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button for all your boxing needs. Now, I'm going to give my post-fight for Alexander Usyk, who defeated champion Krzysztof Glowacki, and he did it, and he looked good. It went the decision, and the new. So, congrats to Usyk. I want to break down his performance. I did watch the fight live, and we'll start this thing from the beginning. And I do a round-by-round tweet, so make sure you guys follow me on all social media. And I was looking forward to this fight. This is a good fight. It was a good fight. Definitely a good fight if you're a boxing purist, if you want to know who's next and guys to check for. And we're going to break it down. So, I said fairly mellow feel around round one I was referring to. Usyk looks big at cruiserweight. Something I noticed, he's listed at 6'3", and he looked big. He has that, for his division, per division, it reminds me of like Martin Murray when he was fighting at middleweight, where he just looks diesel and big. So that's one thing. And I love how Usyk had his left glove up real high, covering his temple, and he was really picking off his shots. I noticed that in round one, if you look at the times. This is round one, right? And this is just a fact. Usyk and Glowacki, they're both southpaws. Good thing for this fight, there were not too many clashes of heads, or there was no awkwardness, and sometimes you get that when you see two southpaws. Usyk using a great jab, needs to keep it up against an aggressive guy like Glowacki. Glowacki, so far not discouraged by the technique of Usyk landing good body shots. Great idea, since Usyk is the rookie at a pro level. He only had 9 fights coming into this. Just to give you guys a backstory, he just set a record because before, Evander Holyfield, the real deal, was the last person at cruiserweight to win a title in, I think, 12 fights it was for Holyfield. But by Usyk winning this fight, he became the first cruiserweight to win a title in fewer fights. So to me, that tells me a couple things, and I've been checking for, you guys have to follow me on all social media because I don't get the time to make videos about everything, but I've been checking for this dude. I've heard great things about him. I did my research, great amateur background, things of that sort, but I don't have time. I just don't have time to make videos about everything. But I did post about this on my social media, say this is a sleeper hit, something I'm looking forward to. There's rumors that Usyk was fighting, he was sparring with Klitschko, a heavyweight, you know what I mean? He's big enough to do it, he's 6'3", but he was sparring with Klitschko, and they made him take all the cameras off and stuff because he was that good. He had a lot of amateur level praise. And the thing that I like about it's, and I'll talk about this more, but you can see the different boxing schools, like the Cuban boxing school, the American style, Ukrainian boxing school, even the Polish. There's a lot of good Polish fighters like Artur Szpilka, guys like Funfara, guys like Glowacki, and you see sometimes similarities, which I even tweeted later. You see similarities, and one similarity to his countryman and his friend Vasily Lomachenko, it shows where their level of confidence is, because they're putting him in 9 fights. He only had 9 fights. They're putting him in a title shot. Same thing with Lomachenko. They put him in with Orlando Salido, a veteran, and he only had 2 fights or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's crazy. That's almost unheard of, but it shows you that these guys are highly skilled and their teams clearly have confidence. And you look at the Salido fight with Lomachenko, he almost stopped Salido in the 12th round. So even though he lost, you have to factor in Salido came in overweight. He was doing some dirty tactics, and Lomachenko in his second fight held his own. So I was really watching this eye under a microscope to see how good he was, and I really like what I seen from Usyk. I said Glowacki is champ. He needs to try to take Usyk to the championship waters, aka deep water. I meant to say championship rounds, aka deep water, and drown him. Body shots pay dividends late. Early body shots pay dividends late. So as a champion, since you got a guy with only 9 fights, I thought it would be in Glowacki's best interest to try to push for the second half of the fight, but this was actually the reversal, and this shows you how skilled Usyk is, because I think he completely pulled away. Usyk, the challenger, pulled away in the second half. And the best work that we've seen from Glowacki, I mean, yeah, he showed heart, but the best work was in the early rounds. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you kind of gauge it, or at least for me, that's kind of how I gauge certain things. Usyk actually dominated more so in the second half, in the championship rounds, than he did in the beginning. You know what I mean? So that shows you his conditioning, his pedigree. Gave round 3 to Usyk, let his hands go more, seemed motivated by the cut, the blood over the eye of Glowacki. Usyk has nice sweeping left, right punches. Just the technique and how he delivers them reminded me of Floyd Mayweather when he throws his his sweeping right hands, like versus, I don't know, Guerrero. Round 4, the water is starting to boil. That's where I noticed the temperature was heating up. Both guys did some good work in exchanges, getting comfortable in their game plans for the next few rounds. Watch, because I felt it would pick up. I did think this fight would have a little bit more action, but I mean, I can't blame. It was up to Glowacki. Like I always tell you guys, he needed to make a change in the mid to late rounds, and he didn't. And that's a tribute or credited to what Usyk was doing right. He just really couldn't. He wasn't smarter. It was very apparent early who was the better boxer, who was the fundamentally more. And the Polish boxing school has a lot of good fundamentally, like Funfar, you know what I mean? Fundamentally sound. But it was apparent to me who had the better technique early. I don't agree with Sky Sports' unofficial scorecards 3-1 for Usyk. Now that would, I would say, be the bad. A little bit biased on the commentary. I think the first 4 rounds were definitely competitive. And as a champion, I don't think it was a 3-1 sweep. I think 2-2 would have been good, but I don't think Usyk had opened up enough to the point where he was being dominated in only one round. That's just me. I gave round 4 to Glowacki. He had more activity, landed some good shots. So let's keep going. Usyk closed last 40 seconds of round 6 well. Good precision angle, seems pretty comfortable. Great round 7 for Usyk. Awesome footwork. Picked off his shots. Great shots dumped to the body. I loved his body work, and sometimes you don't get that with guys who are powerful. Usyk came into this fight 9 fights, 9 knockouts. Sometimes people who are power punchers headhunt. So I like to see that body work. And this is my comment. Funny seeing different schools of boxing. American, Polish, Cuban, Mexican, Ukrainian, etc. You can see similarities sometimes. And I really seen a lot in common with Lomachenko and Usyk. I said Usyk has good feet, creates angles, moves well, like fellow Ukrainian and friend Vasily Lomachenko, moves very well, especially for his size. I mean, he's 6'3", he's cruiserweight, and he's creating angles. The thing where I see Lomachenko do this all the time. They're very fleet of feet, and Lomachenko or Usyk, what they do is they almost get you out of position, and then they'll sidestep you, and then they'll knock you out or like punch at you. You know what I'm saying? When you're in a weird position, like they're off to the side and you're out of position, and then they'll start bombing on you with punches and letting combinations go, and then they can flip to the other side. It's crazy to see what some of these Ukrainians are doing. Now Lomachenko, it actually makes a little bit more sense because he's a little dude. He's a smaller guy, 130 or whatever. But to see a guy at 6'3" and as big and diesel as Usyk doing it, very impressive. Very good boxing. You can tell he's properly schooled. Glowacki, the champ and veteran, is fighting at a pace that benefits the better, faster boxer Usyk. Glow needs to turn it up and make it a dogfight. So the fight that came to me, I said Glowacki needs to make it a Lamont Peterson versus Amir Khan style dogfight. Stay on top of Usyk, give him less time to think and move, and he wasn't doing that. As a champion, he's fighting at home. You have to create that separation. You have to make those adjustments. He's clearly a better boxer than you. You clearly have power. So to me, Lamont Peterson, he realized quick when he fought Amir Khan that he didn't have the hand speed of Khan. Maybe he's not even as good of a boxer as a silver medalist like Khan. So the way to win that fight after getting knocked down is to stay on top of him. He's moving and doing stuff that you don't like, then you have to cut that off, cut the ring off, and just keep staying on top of him. And I thought Glowacki, that's the bad for Glowacki. You lost your belt, and I really think he had the power to hurt Usyk. I mean, he's a power puncher, right? And he was just winging shots and stuff like that. And he should have made an adjustment midway through round 6, 7, and stuff like that if he wanted to retain his belt. And he just couldn't figure it out. He couldn't figure out the Usyk puzzle. But I really think he should have did like Lamont Peterson. Like, hey, I'm a good boxer, but man, maybe this guy's hand speed, maybe he's a better boxer. He's moving his feet good. He's faster with his hand speed. So I got to just rough him up. And for everything in boxing, you can negate it. If someone has speed, timing negates that. If someone has a good defense, power, or a jab could negate that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to find whatever you can do to counteract. And then I said Usyk can box. He makes subtle changes. He started round 9 using a lot of lateral movement. Mid-round switched totally and started fighting flat-footed. Very impressive. Now, if you're a casual fan, you won't pick up on subtle things. Like, Floyd does this all the time. Why do you pick up Floyd? Because everyone's seen his fucking fights. But Floyd does this all the time, and it was good to see someone with only 9 fights do something like this. And people say that's why this whole running shit is stupid. Oh, he ran. It's not running. You make subtle changes like this. You start round 9 off moving, and then maybe your opponent gets in the mindset of, oh, I got to chase this guy around. And then next thing they know, you're backing them up and fighting toe to toe with them. And it kind of throws them off their game because you're giving them too many different looks. And like Floyd does it, Usyk did this. And that's great boxing. Hit and don't get hit. You know what I mean? It's not like he was running around the whole ring. Usyk was boxing. He was jabbing, he was throwing punches, he was countering. And that, my friends, is the sweet science. So I like that. I like to see a fighter make a change within a round. Sometimes people get stuck in the same game plan for the whole round, for the whole fucking 12 rounds for the fight. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to call anyone out, but you look at guys who are more limited in their technique, fun fighters, but like Brandon Rios, Ruslan Provodnikov. If Ruslan's power's not working, then he's proven time and time again he probably doesn't have a way to bail him out unless he gets you clean with the power shot, right? But if a guy can make adjustments in the round or do something that he wasn't doing at the first minute 30 of the round, and then he closed the round by backing you up, it's impressive. Floyd did it versus Canelo, where he started off the fight where he wasn't even using movement. He was fighting pretty flat-footed. And then he's seen, okay, Canelo's not going to just go easy, lay down. He's probably better than I thought at age 23. So let me incorporate some movement. And then later in the fight, he started walking them down again. That's what you're supposed to do as a boxer. Make them figure you out. You don't make it easy for them. So my comment was Usyk pulling away second half. So far in the second half, it was much closer in the first half of the fight. First 3, 4, 5 rounds, and then he started really pulling away. Just nasty combinations, going to the body, frustrating Glowacki. Usyk started to break Glowacki down, starting to break him down. Seems fresher than the champion. That's a bad sign if you're Glowacki. You're the champion with way more pro level experience. You've been in there with Steve Cunningham. You upset a then champion Marco Huck, who had been in, I don't know, I think undefeated, or I don't know if he was undefeated, but he hadn't lost in a while. And you had the better pro level names, and you're the one that doesn't look fresher. So it's a testament to Usyk. Gave Usyk round 10, and this is where Usyk really started dominating in the latter rounds. I mean, Glowacki as champion, he showed heart in front of his crowd. He didn't get knocked out, but I thought great round 11 for Usyk, showing separation. And this is what I'm talking about, good combos. When I look at like Salido Vargas, yeah, that fight was cool, but neither guy showed separation. He didn't show like, hey, there's levels to this and you're not at my level. So at the first 5 rounds or whatever, that's why it's not fight of the year to me, because there's no adjustments. It was just kind of swinging for the fences. I like boxer punchers probably the best, right? Because a lot of times the boxer punchers, what they'll do is they start showing separation, and that's, to me, that's a must. If you're trying to show that I'm elite and you're not at my level, that's cool if it was competitive at first in the first half, but then you have to pull away, and that's exactly what Usyk did. He was the one, the challenger, less experienced as a pro, etc., and he pulled away. You watch rounds 10, round 11 and stuff. He started showing you like, I'm the man. I'm taking this. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like to see. So he showed the combination punching, separation. It wasn't just about lateral movement. I said Usyk tricky, haha. Put up both gloves over his temple. He was trying to give different looks to set up Glowacki, because I think he really wanted to try to push for a statement knockout, TKO. And I said Glow was winging shots too much, but he's showing heart. And this was kind of the story of a great round 12. I like Usyk. Started clowning around, showboating. At the end was ripping some nasty combos, having some fun, have Usyk winning. And you could see that Glowacki knew, like after the fight, they're showing, you know what I mean, where they tally up the scorecards. He looked like he knew he lost that and didn't win the fight. But it just looked like a foregone conclusion. Even in the 12th round, there was signs of frustration because Usyk slipped, and then he's literally on the ground on his butt because he slipped. And Robert Byrd, before he got over there to break him, Glowacki's hitting him in the face as he's on the ground. I can't remember seeing that. Like, I've seen people like Triple G versus David Lemieux. Lemieux got hurt to the body and took a knee, and then Triple G punched him while he was down, because you don't know when someone's going to take a knee. Roy Jones versus Montel Griffin took a knee or was falling or whatever, and then you're in the middle of combinations. But Glowacki clearly could have not punched him in the face when he was on the ground. But maybe that's signs of frustration, or, you know what I mean, veteran tricks to let me fuck him up while he's on the ground to try to win this. I don't know. Usyk wins unanimous decision, great decision, right person won, and the new. And that's the breakdown. I really like what I've seen from Alexander Usyk. Again, I've seen very good boxing abilities, shades of things that a lot of great fighters do well. Vasily Lomachenko, Floyd Mayweather, Willie Pep. He was doing that. And the problem is he's 6'3", he has power. You're not going to just walk through his shots. He's a southpaw, and he's at cruiserweight, which to me is not the most popping division. So he's really going to be a problem. And now he's a champion. Let me know what you think. Glowacki maybe should rematch Huck or somebody like that. But I don't know. I don't really know. I got to really research the cruiserweight picture to see who's ranked, because I know it's not popping like that. So I don't even know who he can fight. Glasgow, I think he's at heavyweight. Marco Huck. You got Steve Cunningham. I don't know. I'd have to really research. There's a couple of newcomers though at cruiserweight, like Anthony Yard and stuff like that. So those should be some good fights that could possibly be built up. Let me know what you guys thought. I thought Usyk, he definitely won the fight, definitely looked good, and very impressive performance. And I think Lomachenko and team was happy. Fellow Ukrainians like the Klitschko's, they were in attendance. I think they were happy with the performance. Can't always get the knockout. Marco Huck showed heart, or excuse me, Glowacki showed heart. Let me know what you thought if you watched it, and I will be back for the Canelo Smith fight, post fights. Subscribe. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off.